All right, so I apologize for the terrible audio from the previous video. I am still learning how to get a microphone that will work with me being in the car so you don't have to hear car noises when I am doing these. And I realized that it was way too close to my mouth. So I'm going to speak a little quieter, and also it's a bit further away now. So yes, I apologize for the previous terribleness of the last video's audio. But I have had time to think about the changes and stuff today. And during lunch, I was able to watch some of Raven's stream, who is a Jeff main, and he was playing ranked with a friend. And while watching it, I wasn't sitting there really contemplating. I was basically just, eating what I could while I still had the time to. But after the half an hour, I kind of like in talking with some of the people in chat and trying to explain how I felt about it, where I felt it was more like a big nerf rather than a rework, with some people differing their opinions too. But the thing I got out of watching the gameplay from Raven was that, okay, well, one, as a Jeff main, I knew the exact moments that were probably going through Raven's head, which were like, I could have gotten out of this. I could have saved my friends. Like every grouped ult and everything. Like I could feel like I know I could have, if I would have saved my resources had I had them, I could have saved my team. I could have made a play, and and something he kept repeating during the matches was like, I can't flank. I can't flank. I can't put pressure. Like I'm in this position where if I was the Jeff before, I could put pressure on the enemy team and do something and change the tides. But and this is the kind of not revelation, but big thing that came to my head when I got done watching him was, you can just heal. Like, that's it. Like, Jeff doesn't have pressure anymore. Jeff can't make plays. He was just healing people as best as he could. And he was basically the only healer because Ultron, the new healer or strategist that came out, the only thing he can do is like a cloak and dagger bubble. It's sort of like that. So he can heal in that bubble, and that's it. He can also shield people, but honestly, yeah. So he was the only healer on the team. He was struggling, man. He was struggling. And then that's all he was doing. He was just holding left click and just spraying people. And if anything, like the reason I think most people love Jeff, and the reason they love Jeff is because they love playing Jeff, and because playing Jeff is so much fun because you can do so much with Jeff. You can apply pressure, you can flank, you can be a heal bot. And that was the retort that so many people were giving me in the chat, along with Raven, which was like, oh, he's just a heal bot now. So if you play Jeff as a heal bot, he's so much better. And okay, aside from also doing a pitiful bit of damage when you're doing your splash, your main heal, aside from that, there's no difference. You're a worse healer. You heal less. Your bubbles heal less. So, like, I don't understand. Like, you could heal bot again with Jeff better the way he was before. He healed better before than he does now. So I don't understand. I don't know if they're trying to say it as this is the excuse that the devs gave, because they didn't give that excuse. They didn't say that at all. It's probably just an assumption on their part, so I don't blame them for that. But it's like, if they wanted him to be a heal bot, why not buff his healing and just take away all his damage and mobility? But they nerfed everything about him. They drove him into the ground. And like, for some like, I haven't personally, my opinion is they haven't had a character out that deserves to be nerfed to the ground, except Spider-Man. But like, And even still, I would never ask for a character to be reworked unless the entire concept of that character just doesn't make sense, like didn't work. Like no one was picking that character because the character just didn't work. If a character is too strong, and okay, apparently in Overwatch's history, there were characters that were really strong but were really, really boring. So maybe in that case, then they would need a rework so that they're fun to play and not too OP. But again, like, people played Jeff because he was fun. He was not OP. He had a 40% win rate in ranked. He was never banned. And like, in my experience, I rarely saw a Jeff player. And even when they had a Jeff player, he played as a heal bot. It was rare to find a flanking Jeff on my team. And almost always that was a duo because someone else would pick Luna. So like, I don't understand the reasoning for it. And I hope that people like the people I was talking with, other Jeff players, people like Raven will understand that it's not, I don't think the changes were made to make him a heal bot in the sense of that's, a better heal bot than what he was before. That's all he can do now. That's all you can do as Jeff now. You cannot be flank Jeff. You can't put pressure. Even Cloak and Dagger can put pressure. Hell, like, if I was ever going to be an upfront strategist, I play Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger is great for going in and out of offense and then healing. And while I can't say that for the other strategists, everyone else I kind of need to hide. Granted, I got a little bold and brazen with Rocket, but that's only when I know I have my ult up. So like, Jeff was one of those weird ones that I could stay in the back and heal, and that was only in the case like if we were just taking boatloads of damage. Otherwise, I would be on angle points. I would be on the side. I would be flanking. I could still heal. It was so funny to just be in the enemy team healing and no one cared. No one noticed you because you weren't attacking. Sorry, that was probably really loud, but like, I just hope people understand, like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't think anything good came from this change. And the only people that agree with this change have never played Jeff. And just like how I despise Spider-Man, I have played Spider-Man, and I can tell how fun he is to play. And if you are good at Spider-Man, holy cow, you are a god, essentially. And how few of those are on my team, to be fair. I mean, come on. If you like Spider-Man, or if you're good at Spider-Man, tell me this. Would you rather have Spider-Man banned from the game you're playing, or a teammate gets to play Spider-Man and you don't? Come on, be honest. You know you would rather just not have Spider-Man there than a teammate feed. Come on. But anyway, so yeah, that was kind of the sad realization. I was watching his stream, talking with people and thinking about it. I'm not, aside from maybe doing the Jeff NATO once or twice, I have a friend who plays Venom a lot, so he's excited that we can team up, even though, again, even with that healing, like, maybe that's where Jeff should be with that 15% heal bonus, but man, it does not look good. It does not look fun. I'm not a fan of playing Invisible Woman. Her and Adam are the only ones I have not lorded as strategists, and now Ultron. But Ultron looks like a pokey character, and the funny thing is when I was lording Mantis, I actually played her as extreme support Mantis. I did not try to rack up my damage numbers or something. And maybe people would say like, hey, that's not how you're supposed to play Mantis. Well, okay, fair. But what I did is I made sure that I kept people up on their damage boosts who needed it, and kept people alive who needed it. And basically that's like, okay, I'm going to pick 1 to 2 DPS as long as they don't fly away like Spider-Man. If they stay around me, I will make sure that they have their damage boost on constantly, so their ults get raised faster, and we get that, especially like a Star-Lord or something, you know? And then I would almost always make sure that if we had one tank, they always had my heal on them, or if we had two, I would interchange between the two. I could always keep my buff on at least two people at once, and that way I could save at least one or two for either myself or if another character is in danger. So, and that's how I loved playing Mantis, because I had to pay attention to everything all the time, and I'm always engaged. And I loved playing Mantis that way. Is it the way to play her, like, as a top 500 player? Probably not, but I love playing Mantis that way, which is why characters like Invisible Woman, who the only thing with her is that you really have to be judgy with how you do her push or pull, because she can make insane plays if you do that correctly, but most of the time all I'm doing is pushing away people when they ult, and like that's the extent of my skill. Otherwise, her range is too low, her range is too short. I always end up having to jump away and heal myself, which is like I'm watching people die, because either expose myself and probably die, or just keep myself alive. And she's not a bad character, but her ult also bores me. Just like I don't play Luna. I just don't play Luna. Her ult is so boring. It's wow, okay. You know how we've just been smacking each other for the last, minute and a half? Let's just do that again for another 12 seconds. So, like, I just don't have fun playing those characters. And with Adam, it's another thing where you really want to be doing damage as Adam. And I'm not too bad at it, but I'm not great at headshots. And the only thing with Adam I'm trying to learn is positioning for his ult. I should probably use his ult not when people are already dead, but there's a good chance they're going to start dying. And you always have to do it like behind a wall, but you can't go too far away. And then anyway, what I'm trying to say is while I was lording characters, or while I am lording characters, if I ever want to break, if I ever want to just like, I'm sitting there like, wow, I have to play this stupid character again, I would always hop on Jeff and just enjoy the game again. And just actually have fun playing. Because that's what he was for me. He was a little menace. I loved playing him. I felt like I was a good member of the team. I could switch up my styles. If I just needed to heal, I'll just heal. If I needed to put some pressure, I'll put some pressure. If we needed someone to go flank around the side and piss off a Hela, totally could do that, no problem. And even if we had a Spider-Man on going against us, I didn't mind it too much as Jeff. Not that I could really hit the Spider-Man, but I didn't feel threatened by him. So yeah. It's just really sad. Still upset about it. And all I can do is hope they change it, because aside from maybe today and this weekend, I don't know if I'll play Jeff anymore. And it's one less reason to play. And I'm really struggling. Guys, I'm really struggling to want to play Rivals. Like, I got the Battle Pass done. There's nothing to do on there for me. And so without Jeff, I don't know, I got other games I could play. I could get through Oblivion. I could try to do Expedition 33. I could dust off my card collection and go through that again. I don't know. I have no reason to play Marvel Rivals, and Jeff was a big reason. So yeah, I hope you guys, I don't know, you can leave your thoughts below. We can talk about it a bit if you'd like. I just don't know. It's out of our hands, and the longer that NetEase stays silent on this is the more I'll be discouraged in a sense. Otherwise, I'll try to stay on top of the Save Jeff movement. I will continue to be a part of the Save Jeff movement, and ideally, this is something I could change really fast. Like I said, the only nerf I'm okay with is the one to his mobility. Either don't have him heal while he's swimming underwater, or we could have the 6-second heal, which I'm not a fan of, but keep it the same healing. I don't know. It's just, and everything else changed back. But I mean, I don't know. Part of it's like you give them an inch, they take a mile. That's why I don't want to sit here and say like, oh, if we just got a couple more damage bubbles, oh, if we just got a couple more heals and everything will be fine. It's no, they changed. They nerfed so much that it's going to be really hard for me to accept minimal positives, it's going to be really hard for me to sit here and wait month after month after month with incremental Jeff buffs. Like, it's shrug, okay, great, Anyway, I hope you guys have a good weekend and try to find something enjoyable. Hey, maybe Ultron's a lot of fun to play. As far as I've heard, not really. But that's the same with every character. We just don't know what they do until, like a week or so after they're out. Yeah, and thanks for listening.